What is going on, everybody, and welcome back to Mr. Plays, and today I'm going to be telling you guys whether the newly added Flail weapon for Link is good, and if you should fuse it and use it. Okay, so let's get right into it. So first off, crowd control. Now, the Flail crowd control is decent. I mean, it's nothing special. I would not recommend using this weapon for crowd control just because there are so many better options, but if you do like using it for crowd control, it is not a bad option. Okay, next up we are going to talk about bosses. Now with the Flail, for its unique action, it copies the enemy's weapon, and the damage output is better when you're using the copied weapon. Now, after using the Flail a ton, I came up with the conclusion that the weapon is insane against bosses, especially when you have a two-handed weapon copied, because when you have the two-handed weapon copied, all you have to do is spam Y, and the enemy repeatedly keeps getting stunned. Though the thing with it is it only lasts a few seconds and eventually the two-handed weapon will break, so you cannot do it a lot. So like if you could constantly do this, it'd probably be like the best weapon in the game, but you can't because you have to like get the weapon, you have to be fighting an enemy with the weapon, then you have to copy him, and then you have to spam Y, and then eventually it's gonna break pretty fast, I figured out. So, there's that, but also, when you do it with the one-hand weapons and also the spears, it does increase the damage, but all the combos, when you use, like, the one-hand weapon and the spears, it feels just funky, and it doesn't really feel too good, so I wouldn't be copying weapons unless you're using, a two-handed weapon. Okay, guys, so I did a little experiment to test the damage output of the Flail, and, this is without copying any weapons at all. Okay, so I went to the quest called Verse Harbinger Ganon and played it with like 5 or 6 characters, and here are my results. So, first up, it's how long. This is just to see how long it takes to beat Harbinger Ganon with each character, just to show the damage output. Okay, so first, it shows the name of the character, then it will show their level, and then the level of their weapon, and then the rating of their weapon. And finally, it will show the time it took to beat the quest. So as you can see, Link Flail has the second best time of 1 minute and 25 seconds, but that is the average. But because I did this quest multiple times with him, and that's just the average time it takes to beat Harbinger Ganon. But the first time I went in, I actually beat Harbinger Ganon with the best time yet of 1 minute and 4 seconds, which is absolutely insane, because before that, I haven't even cracked 1 minute and 10 seconds, and I just cracked 1 minute and 4 seconds with my first try. So as you can see, the Flail does actually have great damage output, even without copying any weapons, but also you have to remember some characters like Impa, she has to be ramped up, so maybe if she was already ramped up, her time would be a lot better, and also some of the characters have their weapons at low levels, so that's just some things you have to put in consideration when looking at this. Okay, so next up, guys, we have combos. Now, honestly, all of the combos are average for crowd control, but a lot of the combos can shred through weak point gauges with the Flail. Like, some of these combos, they can just destroy weak point gauges. But it does do a pretty bad job of exposing the weak point gauges, so you really have to rely on, like, rune counters, elementals, and flurry rushes when using the Flail. Now, guys, time for my final thoughts. Okay, so first, the Flail has average crowd control. It does an average job of exposing weak point gauges, although it does shred through weak point gauges once you expose them. Now, it has great damage output and also has a stun lock mechanic when you copy a two-handed weapon. It is amazing to when countering bosses. And also the Flail requires high skill to fight bosses because you have to be very good at flurry rushing because it doesn't do very well when exposing weak point gauges. Either way, guys, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and if you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like down below. Also, subscribe with notifications on for a ton of new content coming out, and later, in about less than a month from now, we have Skyward Sword coming out, so also going to be a ton of content on that. But until next time, peace!